Hello yogis, welcome to your practice. Take a moment to settle into your comfortable seated posture. Just a moment here to fully arrive to our mat, to our space, to the breath, to how I feel today. Setting one hand over the chest, the other one on the belly. Maybe both hands on the belly, maybe both on the chest, or let them rest over the thighs if you're not using them. Reaching inside, allowing everything happening outside to remain outside, so the full attention can rest on the body, on the breath. Choosing your tools for the practice today. Intention, dedication. So anytime you get distracted, you can bring your attention back to the body, to the breath, to the intention you chose for your practice. Let's settle into hands and knees, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a deep breath in to soften the belly, lift the sit bones, the chest. And as you exhale, bring the sternum towards the pubic bone, look towards your belly. A few rounds of cat-cow tilts. Rounding and arching the spine, arching and rounding. With the breath, allowing the breath to be fluid, using the whole length of the breath. One more. Finding your neutral spine, lift your right leg all the way up and back. Reach into your toes, point and flex the foot a few times, level the hips. Make sure you're not collapsing into your right hand as you pick up your left arm. Make yourself long here, sending the body both directions. Back of the neck is long. Steady, finding your balance. Start bending the knee behind you. Draw a circle with the hand and see if your foot and hand are going to meet. Opening maybe the gaze over your shoulder as you let your knee lift and the heel kick away from your bum. Invite space. Remain steady, strong, balanced, focused. Use an exhale, release. Send your fingers away from your foot. Let both hands on the floor. Drop your right leg on the same line with the left knee and left hand. Pick up your right arm. Right reach of your right foot, the outside reach, pressing into the floor. The arm that is up in the air going over your head. Invite space into the side body. Remain here. Start engaging the muscles that will allow you to pick up your left knee from the floor. And maybe it lifts just a half centimeters, maybe it lifts higher up. If it's easy, even extend the leg in front of you. Find the breath, find length, space, and gently let your knee back down on the floor, both hands on the floor, both knees on the ground. 3 rounds cat-cow postures with the breath, tilts. Take your time. Let the breath tell you how you move. Last round. Finding your neutral spine once again, left leg all the way up and back, point and flex the foot. Choose the sensations you want to work with, level the body, pick up the opposite one. Lengthen here. Steady. Back of the neck long, soft face. We start bending the knee behind, catch your hand, foot, And start opening to the side, invite space. Maybe gaze over your shoulder or maybe in front of you. Knee lifting as your foot is pressing gently into the hand. Use an exhale, release, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hands on the floor, left foot on the same line with your right knee, right hand and left arm is lifting. Outer bridge of your left foot pressing into the floor, making sure you're not collapsing into your right side. Let the arm that is up in the air float over your head. Invite space into the side body. You may remain here or engage in the muscles that will help you lift the right knee off the floor. See where you go. Maybe it's barely lifting. Maybe you pick it up and you lengthen the neck all the way in front of you. Discover where the body works. One more breath here. And letting your both knees, hands laying back on the ground. Release the spine. Inhaling to lift the chest, sit bones. Exhale to round. 2 more times. Taking the time to finish your last round. Coming to a neutral spine, tuck the toes behind you. Let your knees hover above the floor. Take a breath in, keeping the knees close to the floor. As you exhale, let the chest drop towards the thighs. Keep your shoulders relaxed so you're not collapsing into your joints. Start extending the legs gently. Coming into your downward facing dog. A few breaths. Where do you find space? Use an exhale, bend the knees, look up, step or hop, top of your space. As you arrive, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fall forward. Press to rise all the way up. Release your arms along the body. Let your feet underneath your hips. Take a breath in, rise the arms. Catch your left wrist with your right hand. Take an inhale for more length. As you exhale, press the hips towards the side. Lean towards the right. You're still rooted into both your feet. Breath in to rise, exhale to change sides. Inhale to rise, exhale to let yourself fall forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place the hands on the ground, step back into your plank pose. Remain here, strong, strong. Let your both heels drop towards the right side. Maybe you bring your left arm up. Maybe you stack your feet. Let the arm that is up in the air go over your head as you push your hips up. Complete the circle with your hand, come to the top of the plank. Use an exhale, lower to the ground into your chaturanga. As you breathe in, come back to the top of the plank. You can do that another 15 times. Or skip it. Let your both heels drop towards the left side. Maybe you stack your feet on top of each other, lifting the right arm. Breathe here, stabilize your joints. Let the arm that is up in the air over your head as you lift your hips even higher. Invite space into the side body. Complete the circle with your arm, top of the plank. Breath in as you exhale, chaturanga. Coming back to the top of your plank. Press back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, shoulders over the wrists, and as you exhale, let yourself lower all the way on the floor. Let the hands on the outsides of your space, shoulder level, fingers on the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders away from your face and rise into a gentle cobra. Open the chest, make sure you're not lifting the shoulders towards the face. Invite space, let the front body open. Keep reaching with your tailbone towards the heels. Use an exhale, lower to the ground. Place the hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the toes behind you, lift the knees off the floor. Press yourself up to the top of the plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Use an exhale, bend the knees, look up, step or hop, top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward. Press to rise all the way up. Release the hands along the body. Take a breath in, rise your arms, right hand catching the left as you exhale, lean to the side. Side body opening, lengthen. Breath in, rise, exhale, change sides. Breath in, come back to center as you exhale, lower to the ground. Halfway lift. Hands on the ground, step back, plank pose. Find a space between the shoulder blades, reach into your heels. As you exhale, lower to the ground, knees, chest, or halfway, chaturanga, you decide. Rising into your upper facing or cobra. Pressing back, downward facing. Walk the hands gently towards the feet, 10-15 centimeters, downward facing dog, short version. Become light into your right hand, only right fingers on the floor. See how it feels from here. If you're steady, the right hand is gonna reach towards the left ankle. Feel free to bend the right knee a lot as you look underneath your armpit. Press the hips towards the back of your space. If you have enough space, lengthen both legs. Where do you find the breath? Use an exhale, release. Keep the short downward facing dog, breathe. Only left fingers on the floor. If you're not steady, you remain and you try to stabilize. If you're steady, left hand towards the right ankle. Feel free to bend your left knee to make space. Hips still pressing towards the back of your space, and maybe you lengthen both legs. Find the breath. Use an exhale, release both hands forward. Adjust the space between the hands and feet, downward facing dog. See how the body feels. Take a breath in, shoulders over the wrists, top of the plank. Use an exhale, lower to the ground, knees, chest, or halfway down. Rising into your upper facing or cobra. And pressing back, downward facing back. Walk the hands all the way towards the back of your space, folding forward. When you arrive, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fall forward, bend the knees, drop the seat. Inhale into your chair pose. Settle into your chair.
With the next exhale, releasing anything that you don't need anymore. Let the arms drop, chest dropping. Inhale to rise. Exhale, drop anything that you don't need. One more time, breath in. Exhale to let yourself drop. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale to fall forward. Look towards the belly. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the dog to the top of your space, downward facing dog. Use an exhale, bend the knees, look up, step or hop, top of your space. When you arrive, halfway lift. As you exhale, fall forward. Press to rise all the way up. Release the arms along the body. Next, inhale, rise. Catching the left wrist, hips towards the left, lean towards the right. Find space into the left side body. Breath in back to center, change, exhale. Hips towards the right as you lean over towards the left. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fall forward. Halfway lift. Hands on the floor, top of the plank, high plank. Find a breath. Use an exhale to lower to the ground. Next, inhale to open the chest. And exhale into your downward facing dog. Shorten the space between your hands and the feet. Short downward facing dog. Lift your right leg all the way up and back. Reach for space, not height. Reach into your heel. Equal weight into your arms as the chest is dropping towards the standing leg. Become light into your left fingers. If you're not steady, you remain here and you try to stabilize. If this is very easy for you, the breath is fluid, bring your hand to catch the outside of the ankle for the foot that is still on the ground. See what's going on. Releasing both hands forward, both feet on the floor, short downward facing dog. Letting the left leg all the way up and back. You don't have to go very high up. Equal weight into the hands. Breathe here as you reach into your left heel. Invite space, length. It doesn't matter how high you go. See if you can bring only your right fingers on the floor. If you're not steady, you try to stabilize. No point on going anywhere else. If the breath allows you, you bring the right hand towards the outside of the right ankle, the one that is still on the ground. A few breaths here. Trying to stabilize, to find ease, steadiness in the posture, space. Use an exhale, both hands on the ground, both feet on the ground. Adjust the space between the hands and the feet, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, top of the plank. Exhale to the ground, all the way down. Let the hands on the outsides of your space. Fingers on the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. With the next inhale, find your cobra. See how far you want to grow your cobra without strain, tailbone reaching towards your heels. Let the upper side of the body open. Keep the breath. Use an exhale. Lower. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the toes, pick up the knees. Pick yourself up, top of the plank, and press back, downward facing dog. Walk the hands all the way to the back of the space. When you arrive, halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, drop the seat, inhale, chair pose. Settling into the chair. With the exhale, anything that you don't need, let it drop. Inhale to rise. And let everything drop. One more time, rising chair pose. Swing arms along the body. Chair pose, breath in. Folding forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk the dog, top of the space, downward facing dog. Use an exhale, bend the knees, look up, walk or step all the way to the top of your space. Halfway lift when you arrive. Exhale to fall forward. Press to rise all the way up. Release the arms along the body. Next breath in, rise. Catch your left wrist, lean to the side, exhale. Hips towards the left. Leaning towards the right. Inhale to rise. Exhale to change sides. Breath in back to center and exhale to let yourself fall forward. Halfway lift. Plank pose. Step the feet back. Top of the plank. Exhale to the ground, knees, chest, or halfway. Rising into your upper facing. Pressing back, downward. Walk the hands towards the feet, short, downward facing dog. Take the time to turn your left foot 40 degrees, so your toes towards the edge of your space. Find your right leg all the way up and back. Bend the knee and open the hip. Becoming light into your left fingers. As usual, if you're not steady, you're not going anywhere. You remain to try to stabilize. If your breath allows, your left hand gently searching for the leg that is up in the air to catch the foot. Letting the foot gently kick into the hand. The heel picking away from your sit bone as your shoulder is coming gently over the wrist. Steady. Find space. One more breath. And one thing at a time. Releasing the hands on the floor. Both feet on the floor. Short downward facing dog. Take a moment. If you need to, let the knees on the ground for a few breaths. Letting the right foot open to the side. So your right toes turning 45 degrees more or less. Finding your left leg all the way up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Let your chest drop towards the standing leg, become light into your right fingers. Making sure you're not collapsing anywhere. If you're stable, steady, let the hands start reaching to catch the foot that is up in the air. If the foot is there, you'll start letting the heel away from the bum as your shoulder is coming over the wrist. Finding space. Stay with the breath. One thing at a time, releasing both hands on the floor, both feet on the floor. Adjust the space between the hands and the feet, downward facing dog. Shoulders over the wrist, top of the plank. As you exhale, lower to the ground, all the way down. Open the hands on the outsides of your space, tops of the feet on the floor. Rise into your cobra. Breathe. Invite space. Soften the face. Exhale back to the ground. Hands underneath your shoulders. Open the knees towards the edges of the mat as you come into your child pose. Turning the palms up. Letting the forehead drop on the floor. Sink into your hips. Even letting the forehead drop from side to side on the ground. Observe any change in the body, in the breath. Start walking the hands more forward. Bring the knees underneath your hips, melting heart. Letting the hips over your knees as you let the chest drop in between your arms. Maybe forehead, maybe chin on the floor. Slowly making your way back into a tabletop and release all the way on the belly. Make some space around you. Open the right arm, shoulder level, all the way to the side. Left hand underneath your left shoulder. Leg your right side of the head on the floor and roll back. Your left foot is going to take some of the weight. Some of you have space to open the right arm all the way behind you. Manage how much weight you allow into your right side with your left hand and foot. Find a space between the shoulder blades. Notice the sensations across the chest. Slowly, one thing at a time. Bringing yourself back on the belly. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Adjust the spine. Open the left arm to the side, shoulder level. Left side of your head on the ground. You control the body weight with the right hand and the right foot as you lean backwards. See how much space you have there. Some of you will bring the right arm behind. Some of us will need to release some of the weight into the right hand. A few breaths here. Slowly, one thing at a time, controlling the body weight with the right hand, right foot. Let yourself come all the way on the belly. Adjust anything that needs adjustment and bring your arms forward, forehead on the floor. Let your tops of the feet on the floor. And reach into your fingers and rise the upper side of the body off the floor. You don't have to go very far. The chin is lifting because the chest is lifting. Allow the hands to go all the way behind you. Maybe you rise a little bit higher. And also fly your legs above the ground. Reaching tailbone towards the back of your space. Interlace the fingers behind your back. And maybe you'll find another set of ribs off the floor. Encourage the breath to stay steady, fluid, natural. And when you find an exhale, release, hands making a pillow, and let your head turn to one side. The knee on that side rising, sliding towards your armpit. A few breaths here, releasing the spine. Allowing the legs long, turn the head towards the other direction and slide the knee towards the armpit. Gently bring your both legs long and find your way all the way belly up. Let the spine rest on the floor, bring your knees to chest. Give yourself a big, big hug. Bring the forehead to touch the knees. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, allow the body to open widely on the ground. Take some space. Make all the small little adjustments the body needs to be able to find rest. Maybe a deep breath all the way into the bottom of the belly. And as you exhale, let yourself enjoy a few moments of stillness. Nothing else needs to happen.